Here we are at September 21st of 2022. We got the loop rolling here. You can see we've had, starts off right with this CME right there. That's the beginning. And then another one moving out right here. And a third. Stuff going on down here. I want you to also look at all this inflow going in over here. There's just this massive flow going inward over here. And this camera doesn't do it justice, but you can see it on the red side over here. I'll try to zoom in, but I don't know if my camera is going to capture it. So for the meantime here, we got this opening CME appears to have an object in it. So does the secondary CME. We have this huge streak that went across there. All kinds of weird stuff going on in here. So let's go to the first frame, and we'll pause it there and start going through this frame by frame here. Alright, let's back up a couple frames. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, here's the opening frame. It's 024, and we have a CME already underway. You can see our instruments reacting to it here. It appears we have, but I believe we also have a small one right up in front here that's being blocked by these blue and red lines. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on it, just kind of show you what I'm talking about here. And as we zoom in, I'll pull this up a little further too, so it's in the camera frame a little bit better. Okay, it appears we have one right in here that's causing this bend in the instrument right by these blue and red lines. There appears to be something right in here. Alright, and then there's this little grouping of 3 appearing back here with a little magnetic field over it. So that's our opening frame right there with this event already underway. Then as I go another frame here, it progresses a little further. It's kind of blurry. And then let's go to this frame here. And you can make out we have this round structure. This is either an object or a magnetic field around a smaller object here in the core is what it appears to be. And I can't tell if there's a grouping of these, but it appears there's our magnetic field right here with at least one object, if not a couple here, trailing back behind it. So let's zoom back out of this a little bit so I can use the arrows. Alright, now as we progress forward, this one moves out of frame. It appears it's trailing something back behind it. There's a little dent right here, looking like there's some kind of object right there, trailing back behind it. Alright, let's back up here. We have this streak shooting through here, right as this object's passing by. This streak shoots through here. And then our next frame is this frame right here. Now, something weird is going on here. If we go through most of these frames, you see how grainy all this is over here on the black and white. And then when we have an eruption coming, it'll smooth out like this, right? And you can see we have a small eruption starting right down here, right? Now we go to the next frame, and that eruption disappears. It doesn't progress outward or anything. It just disappears. Here it is again. I'm going to zoom in on this now. We'll go over here on the red side because this white side, they pixelated it out a little bit. And let me pull this up a little bit more here. Oof. Get this out of the way. Now, pull this down so we can see it a little bit better. There's a weird little shape to this. It comes out, and it comes out a little further on this side. Then it has this weird little arc shape to it in the back. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but it's kind of hard to tell. There seems to be a black round object right here that's hidden, and this is coming out and draping around the bottom side of it, but not the top. And there's an arc right here. If I can maybe just zoom in a little bit closer here to see if we can pull this in. This camera just doesn't do it justice. I'm so sorry, folks. I wish I had better equipment. It was a little more high-tech for you guys. Right in here, there's a dent, a round dent in this little explosion or whatever this is coming off the sun, and then it disappears the very next frame. Now it's gone. There it is. Now it's gone. So it's only there for a minute. It's almost like the sun stuck its tongue out real quick and retracted it. And this is obviously showing up here, and it's showing up on the other side of the instrument as well as an erupting CME. You saw how everything went smooth here on this side. That's this typical reaction to this instrument when there's a CME about to bust out. It goes smooth like this, and it's reacting to this one because previous, there's nothing there that it's reacting to, right? Here's the little red and blue lines that we got, but then it goes smooth, no more lines. Here's our new eruption that it's reacting to, but then that eruption disappears the very next frame, and that's only a matter of 12 minutes. Here's 5:12. This thing at 5:24 should be progressing out even further, but it disappears. You see that? So there's a negative image of it over here again with their little pixels blocking it out. So let's back up one more time to this frame because this is just so odd. I've never seen that happen on this instrument before, where we have clearly something coming out of the sun, starting to erupt. You got the instrument going smooth, reacting to it, and then it disappearing. It didn't erupt, it just disappeared. I don't know if it got sucked back in or if maybe that was something, some kind of craft up there approaching the sun. Because as we progress, you see this little streak right here? Well, we're going to keep progressing through. And lots of blocking and stuff going on here, pixelations. But here you can see we have another CME erupting here from the side of the sun. And this frame just went totally white, right? But right here in the middle, you can make out our object. So I'm going to utilize this frame real quick. We're going to zoom in so you can see how these white negative frames can actually show you the object. And there's the, the circular magnetic field that's going around it. So here's our little core right there. And it's captured in this whited out frame here. Then we'll progress through this. Now it's turned to black because it's moving out at our regular camera image. Then you see we have another CME here, the instrument reacting to it. Here's our object still moving out slowly. It looks like it has something else trailing along with it here. And as that progresses on out, you can make out there's something round right here. I'm going to zoom in on that real quick too. There's this big dent right here in the red side. There's a round black object right here engulfed in this, kind of hidden. It appears there's something down here too. So a lot of this stuff going on. Meanwhile, all this stuff's coming out. All this inflow is going on over on this side. So as we finish going through this frame by frame. All right, here, let's back up this frame right here because we've captured one of these streaks going through here again on the red side, and I'm going to zoom in on it here, pull it up, and right there. It's just the tail end of one of these streaks that we see, but it's like that Ahura Mazda craft or whatever, the angel type looking craft that has this weird trail of debris that trails behind it with a bunch of little particles trailing. It's like almost like a little debris tail of light particles is what I'll call it. Alright, so there's that little streak, and then as we continue on here, I'll zoom back out for us here so we can see this the best perspective again, because it's all about perspective. And then as we continue going forward through this, here is this giant streak going through the frame, okay? And we'll zoom into it on this side because I want you guys to see something here. As we zoom in on this tail, let's pull it up more in the middle and move this thing out of the way. You can see all the little tiny particles, the little light particles I said, the little light debris, photons or whatever that this tail is comprised of. Okay, and this is the fading side of the tail, right? It's all the little particles. And then let me zoom back out. We'll go over to this side and zoom in on it. And you can see how intense this white streak is right here. It's just super bright, super intense. The other side tried to block it out and pixelate it out, and then it goes into those little tiny dots again. So there's no craft this time up at the head of this streak. I was expecting to see the little winged Ahura Mazda craft, but maybe it's lying flat, and its wings are laying flat in our perspective or something. And here's this big, huge streak underlining the sun. Okay? Something else about this streak. Now it's pretty long. It goes from here all the way over to here. The other side is all blacked out, so you can't really see it, so we'll use this side as a reference. Okay, there you can see it a little bit better. This streak goes from this point all the way over to this point. Now, I don't know how close this object is to our camera, but it covered a huge distance in the blink of an eye, in the shutter blink of a camera. This shutter only opens for a split second, takes an image, and then takes another image 12 minutes later. So this is just like a camera that you have at home with an aperture that takes a really brief instant, and in that instant was captured this thing streaking through, and it made it almost all the way across the entire frame. There's probably more tail going back this way if we had more frame. So this object is going fast. It is streaking through there super, super fast, and it has cleared thousands and thousands and thousands of miles here probably in the blink of an eye. So that streak right there tells me that there's some kind of craft that's doing this. This isn't just some meteor streaking by, because in the very next frame here, it's gone. No debris tail, no nothing. The entire thing's gone within 12 minutes. The previous frame is at 6:12 with this huge streak. 12 minutes later in the next frame, it's completely gone. So, you know, we catch these streaks all the time, but this is a good one. This one's huge, it's long, it demonstrates how fast this craft is moving. And I believe that these little particles are the exhaust of some kind of propulsion, some kind of like photon light propulsion that emits these little light particles as its exhaust, leaving this exhaust trail. And then it dissipates just like a normal exhaust trail does. In the solar wind, it dissipates, and in the next frame, it's gone. Okay? So I just had to bring you this because this is a huge streak. It's a perfect example of how fast this craft can move. Whatever this is streaking and doing a huge, huge jump in a split second. So let's zoom back out here real quick. Scroll down and put this back into motion for you and forward. So we have all these objects coming out causing CMEs. We got these magnetic bubbles that they're creating as well. Over here we have all this inflow. It's as if this stuff is coming in and is bouncing out this side. And let's scroll down just a little bit more so you guys get a clearer picture of that. Go over to the black and white side a little bit more for you so you get a good image of that. And it's just odd. We got all this stuff flowing in here at the same spot where this little object shows up, or the sun does this little spit thing. I don't know what that was. That I would like an explanation from NASA as to what happened there. It almost looks like there was a black spheroid hanging out here, and the sun reached out and made a quick, discharge and a magnetic connection or an electric connection to it for a brief second, and then sucked back in and disappeared. Or it could be that ship, we just caught it at the right angle right there or something, approaching the sun. But it's just weird. There's weird activities, all these streaks and these weird little inflows, these objects coming out causing CMEs. There's some crazy, crazy activity going on in our sun, folks. And, it keeps surprising me with something new each time. It's like we never see something, the same thing twice. It's always something new and something weird that we can't explain. So Just had to bring that to you because I love you all and I miss you all. God bless you all. And until my next video, check out some of my shorts I've been doing too on my channel. And until my next video, bye.